Hey y'all, welcome back to my quarterly project pen introduction. I guess I'm calling this quarterly project pen. It's one part project pen. Quarterly goals list? I don't know. So I mentioned this in my replacement only no buy video, but I'm trying to do a quarterly goal roundup where I set goals for the next 3 months or so and then try to finish things based on those goals. And so it's one part to reduce the amount of things I have in my life and in my collection, both with makeup and with yarn and with notebooks and with books in general and other things. And then one part to accomplish things like I've written a bunch of novels. I haven't typed or edited or shopped them around to anyone, but I've written a bunch. And so I kind of want to get a novel, at least one novel, beyond the point of it's in a notebook somewhere and hasn't been touched in a year. And so I decided to just set some numbers for each of those categories and set a goal of every 3 months try to project pen at least 12 makeup items, read 4 books, or at least make a dent, read 3 and make a dent in the 4th, or something like that. Start 4 books. And make a dent or finish 3 knitting projects and achieve 2 writing goals. And so, again, I have my notebook, which has all my notes. That's why I've been looking down so much. And so, so for the makeup, let's start with the makeup because that's what you usually come to my channel for. So for the makeup, I'm doing the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Moisturizer. This is slightly different from the serum. It's a little bit cheaper. It's a little bit gentler. I like it. I could probably get comparable things at the drugstore though. So, and so I weighed that because it's an opaque bottle, and so that's 112.47 grams right now. And I've had it once before, and you'll know when it stops in, so I feel like it's maybe halfway done. I don't know. But next is my Origins face wash. This is a travel size. I got this recently, but it's not my absolute favorite. And I have other face washes, so just kind of want to finish that. Next, you've seen this before. This is my Ulta mattifying face primer. Again, I've used this quite a bit, so I just want to get it finished up because I don't use primers a ton. So I just feel like it's one of those steps that I can eliminate once I use everything up. Next is CoverGirl blush that I depotted and I depotted it and then I put it in a magnetic palette, and so it was Natural Rose. This is what it looks like. It's a very nice pinky color. There's a little bit of a dip going, but not much. There's not a ton of product in there, so I anticipate 3 months would be a good time frame for that. I don't actually know. Next is the NYX pigment primer. I had a lot of my single eyeshadows are pigments, so I bought a primer and I don't use it as much as I should, so I'm going to try and use that more. I won't be super mad if I don't finish it all the way, but it's definitely something that I paid money for it, so I want to use it up. And next is a Shiro Singles Shadow, and it's from their Harry Potter collection, and so it's called If You've Got Enough Nerve. This is really nice brown shade with a hint of gold. I've pressed it into a eyeshadow pan and I hit a little bit of pan on it, so I just want to finish that up in the next couple of months. Next is an eyeliner. This is a kind of a gel liner from clay paint liner from Tarte. It's a nice enough formula, but I wanted to try out something like that, a product of this nature. but the format is not my favorite. So I'm going to use this up and probably just buy an eyeliner pencil. What's next? So next is, I just had it, there it is, is a cucumber mint lip balm from Burt's Bees. I really like the smell and taste of this, and it is mostly full, but it's winter, so I'm probably going to use that a lot more. Moving on to more lip products, I got a little bitty sample size, like little bitty, the Naked Urban Decay Naked High Shine Gloss. This was like a free gift with purchase kind of thing. And I think the line is right about there. I'll have to draw the line on when it settles a little bit. And again, it's sort of a gimme product where I just, there's probably only about a couple of weeks use of that if I wear it every day and reapply. So it's a bit of a gimme product. And then this is one of my favorite reds. It's the NYX Matte Lip Cream in Monte Carlo. Oh yeah, and the Cucumber Mint Balm was 23 grams, and this was 35 grams with the cap on. This is one of my oldest lipsticks, so I do want to use it up. And then for perfume, I'm doing Elizabeth and James Nirvana Rose. Again, this is one of my older perfumes, so I do want to use it up. It is a really, really nice scent. And the last item I actually keep at work. It's a Bath & Body Works lotion in a scent Magnolia Clementine. I'll try and insert a photo if I can, and with a line in, and you'll be able to see where I'm at with that. Yeah, so that's it for the makeup items. For next up, I have 4 books that I want to finish. First is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I'm about halfway through right now. It is really good. It's kind of a parallel worlds novel, which I'm really into, and urban fantasy, which Neil Gaiman is really, really good at. Yeah, and so I want to finish that, especially before I go to London in January, because it's set in London. And then I want to just make a dent in the Count of Monte Cristo, because this book is 1,200 pages long, and I am on page 300. So that's a thing. That's one that I just want to make a dent in. I don't expect myself to finish it. I'm still kind of on the 48 books train. I don't know if I'll actually resurrect it. But if I do, there's that. Another book I want to read is the Graveyard Book, also by Neil Gaiman. I kind of like Neil Gaiman. So this is, it's about Nobody Owens, a living, breathing boy whose home is a graveyard, raised by a guardian who belongs neither to the mortal world nor the realm of the dead. And lives in a cemetery, and there's danger just outside the cemetery. Apparently this is the location is somewhat based on Highgate Cemetery, which I also want to visit while I'm in London, because that's the kind of person I am. Yeah. And then again with the 48 books challenge, if I do resurrect it, this would be the next one chronologically. This is the copy of Jane Eyre that I had in college and wrote my capstone on. It is one of my favorite books, so I'll be happy to reread this as well. And then for writing goals, I wrote historical fantasy last year, and so I want to read one book about the era in which women in the era in which I am writing. This is called Not All Wives, and it's about the marital status of women in 18th century colonial America, especially in Philadelphia where the novel is set. So, and of course it follows, the novel that I'm writing follows a young woman, so it's a good read. And then I also just want to type up the novel itself, because during NaNoWriMo I write my novels by hand, and again, there's that really major step of getting that from the page to the computer so I can actually edit it and make character notes. So I'm going to set a goal between January 1st and March 31st to get that typed up and read get that book read, or at least the parts that would apply to the character. So yeah, so those are my 2 writing goals, and I have 3 yarn projects I want to finish. One is this crochet scarf that it's just a work in progress. It's just to use up some yarn that I've been having sitting around since forever. One is a knit scarf made from the alpaca yarn that I got in Peru 4 or 5 years ago now. It's really, really soft. It's really, really nice. But again, the yarn has been sitting around for a while, and I was finally able to come up with something to make with it. And then finally, the major project that I really want to finish, I've been working on this sweater for almost a year now. The pattern is called Ease, and I cannot for the life of me remember who wrote the pattern, but I will leave a link below to the yarn, or not to the yarn, to the pattern that the sweater, in case any of y'all are interested in checking it out. I'm fairly far along. As you can tell, I just have to finish a sleeve and a half pretty much, but I want to finish that sleeve and a half before March, so hopefully before the middle of January, so I can actually wear it someplace. But yeah, wear it someplace before the weather goes back to being very, very warm. So yeah, so those are all my goals. The timeline for this quarter is going to be from January 1st to March the 31st, and those are the things I want to accomplish in that time frame. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye!